out that country feeling, you know what I mean.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Blomfield, host of It Takes a Village. What's in Santa Barbara? Who's in Santa Barbara? What are our resources and what do we need? Today I am delighted to have the guest, Michael Downey. Hi, Michael.
Hi there, Bonnie.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Good, good. I have a few questions here for you.
Okay.
And I'm so delighted that you are here. I've heard so much about you. I've heard about the different talents you have. And so I just really want to thank you for arriving because it's so nice to have you.
Well, thank you.
And let's see these questions. Let's see, what is a primary activity you find yourself engaged with?
Well, it's always been dance in some form or another. When I came to Santa Barbara, well, actually, I've been in Santa Barbara, left and come back, but let's see, this was 1969, 70. Mm-hmm. I came here to do graduate work, and I was cast in a play that had this big Afro-Cuban dance number. And somebody in the cast said, gee, you know, you really have talent. You ought to check that out. And I was so intrigued with that feedback because when I was a kid in Iowa, I was always the last guy on the block to learn the latest dance.
Well,
So,
Iowa, I didn't know you were from Iowa.
yes, my
Wow.
first 20 years I was in Iowa.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So anyway, just to finish that anecdote, I was so intrigued with someone telling me that I had talent, so I went across campus and enrolled in a beginning ballet class and just fell in love with it. So,
Wow, neat.
So that was, I guess, my official launching in the field of dance. So I was actually a grad student in theater, and I finished my degree, and I think the day after I finished it, I joined a dance company.
Wow, that's exciting.
It was exciting.
I think you're actually Dr. Michael Downey.
I am, yes. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so incredible.
Yeah.
So what do you think kind of struck you toward theater? What was it that made that illuminate for you or exciting for you? I know I'm off the track, but...
Well, I, as I recall, I was in high school, and I really loved theater even then, and took all the drama classes I could. And then my uncle and my dad got involved in community theater in Des Moines, Iowa.
Wow.
And so I went to see them. They were in Thornton Wilder's The Matchmaker.
Oh, exciting.
The play that ultimately became Hello, Dolly. So to see my uncle and my aunt, or my uncle and my father in that show was very exciting and just reinforced my growing love for theater.
Wow, that's interesting. You know, your father's really famous in his, I know he's passed, but Bill Downey taught screenwriting and wrote, and so your father is really famous in himself, huh?
He is, yes. Yeah, he was a founding member of the Santa Barbara Writers Conference and taught through adult ed and at City College for many years. So,
actually, one time my father and myself took screenwriting from him, and he was so exciting. He was so motivating. And what's just amazing about the Santa Barbara I guess adult ed system, there's a new name now, but the fabulous people that arrived at the class. I mean, it was amazing. And he was just such an inspiration and such good critiques and really had fabulous atmosphere. We were just really impressed, but anything. Let's see. What were some of your first thoughts about Santa Barbara, or what was your first impression of it?
Well, I did my undergraduate work in Los Angeles at Cal State LA, so I would come to Santa Barbara to visit my family. But when I finished down there and came to do grad work at UCSB, I got a more sustained engagement with Santa Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
And it always impressed me because it was small enough so that you met people and you would encounter them again and again. And there was a fluidity about Santa Barbara that I didn't experience in Los Angeles, in that you could talk to someone who knew someone else, who knew someone else, and so it was the kind of environment that just nurtured my own developing creativity.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was always someone or some resource available that supported those.
That's
efforts.
fabulous. You know, I found that like in screenwriting, the Santa Barbara Association of Screenwriters, there's a table that meets at TVSB, and the groups and the people that know each other from different groups. And it's amazing in terms of, it sounds like callous, but in terms of resources, the exchanges that go on sometimes, they seem very generous in helping each other. And but that's a really great word, fluidity. I haven't heard that about this town. That's really interesting. Let's see. Tell me about yourself when you were really quite younger, maybe.
How young?
Oh, let's start at 8. Or anywhere you want to start. Was there any kind of feelings or experiences as a pretty young child that you kind of remember that you feel impressed on you or something like that? I mean, you're a very successful person. And I'm just wondering, there must have been something maybe at a young age that was fun for you or exciting for you?
Well,
or maybe not.
No. I was always very creative.
Mm-hmm.
I sang at an early age.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I have a twin sister who is a wonderful classically trained singer.
Wow.
But when we were kids, I was the singer in the family.
Really?
So, yeah, oh yeah. So I sang, I loved, I was very imaginative, and so my creativity was kind of my way of being in the world.
Well, I guess that makes sense with your father was so creative too. It must have been a kind of atmosphere. Was your mother really encouraging about lots of things?
Well, she and I had a very close relationship. Mm-hmm. And she really, it's a shame she never had an opportunity to go to college. She was very bright. Mm-hmm. She was very interested in world affairs. Mm-hmm. She would talk about her impressions of World War II and Winston Churchill and Chiang Kai-shek and her assessment of what they were doing. And so she had a very inquisitive mind. And was a very good singer.
Wow.
Very, very good singer. She loved, well, she had 2 sisters, so the 3 of them would get together and sing.
Oh, neat.
And so they sounded like the Andrews sisters. They were
really?
just, those harmonies were just very close. So I suppose music was a metaphor of our family. My grandmother played piano, and so my uncle, my dad's brother, also was an accomplished pianist, so...
You know, I just love when I hear about families when there's kind of the extended, like the contribution of cousins and uncles and aunts, and that kind of nest and nurturing environment is so special. And tell me, what is your sister's name?
Her name is Michelle.
Michelle.
I'm Michael and she's Michelle, so we're twins.
So she really is a beautiful singer.
Oh, she's... wonderful. I'm not just saying it.
I believe you. I believe you. That's really great. Let me see here now. Okay. Now, I don't know. Some people don't really have this, but were there any, you're very, very successful. Were there any decisions around the age of 14 that you think led you in a constructive path? You've kind of answered some of it in a way, but were there any particular people at 14, like there's your father, your mother, your sister, your uncle? Were there any other influences that you felt kind of encouraged you going the right way?
Well, at 14, that was a really important transitional time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was moving out of childhood and into adolescence.
Mm-hmm.
And so my awarenesses began to shift at that age.
Mm-hmm.
There were, well, my grandmother was always just a very important person in my life, my father's mother.
Mm-hmm.
She actually worked as a janitor. She cleaned houses for people.
Mm-hmm.
She worked at the high school as a janitor.
Mm-hmm.
So she did very menial kinds of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, this woman was very, very elegant. She owned her own home.
Mm-hmm.
She was a natural historian.
Mm-hmm.
I learned all of the family history from her.
Mm-hmm.
She just had this innate elegance about her that just really impressed me. So I regard her as one of my early mentors.
Sounds like a person of love and character.
Oh, tremendous character.
Yeah, it's wonderful when in a family there's someone that's kind of reliable, stable, and I think that really can have a tremendous influence because the age of 14 is such a struggle.
Oh.
It's, which way do I go? Who am I? Is the world good, bad, what?
Absolutely.
And to have some of these people, it's really important, really special. Let's see. Are there any physical locations in Santa Barbara that are particularly significant to you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, when I moved to Santa Barbara, my family was living on Allen Road, which is just a few blocks from Arroyo Burro Beach.
Oh, that's right. What a beautiful area.
Oh, gosh. So the big oil spill happened in 1969, and it was just devastating. That beautiful beach area was just black. But that beach had such significance for me because I'd grown up in Iowa without any ocean at all. I never encountered the ocean until I was age 20.
Wow.
So the ocean was a very powerful influence in my life. So it was neat to be able to go to that beach.
Wow.
Now, also, downtown in those years was a business office called the Fithian Building. I think it's still there.
Oh, that's a beautiful building. It's still there.
It is now, but it was very funky in those years.
It was a theater, right?
Yes, the Park Theater.
Yes.
So in 1970, I finished my MA, and I joined a dance company that rehearsed and performed at the Park Theater.
Wow.
And on the same, I think it was the same floor, there were all of these artist studios, and I met Michael Gonzalez, I think, the founder of the Summer Solstice Celebration.
Wow.
So it was just pulsing with all this creative energy. So that building had tremendous significance for me.
That's a great building.
Yeah.
That's neat. Really, there are so many kind of physical buildings in Santa Barbara that could be noted. Let's see. Have you met any interesting people here? You just kind of answered that about your friend creating the solstice. That must have been a time.
Oh, it was a time.
Wow.
Yes.
Let's see.
But I could answer that question. So, well, as I said earlier, my dad was a founding member of the Santa Barbara Writers Conference, and so part of the program would include these encouragement sessions, these talks by people in the business. So, on this one occasion, I had an opportunity to hear Ray Bradbury. It was just transformative.
Oh, neat.
He talked about his early life struggling and getting hired to write the screenplay for Moby Dick was a real turning point in his life. But he was so positive and encouraging and consummately creative. That talk he gave, I'll never forget it. Just so validating.
Yeah.
So.
I know. When I think of his name, I kind of think of the soul of the writing group.
Oh,
Really fabulous.
I think that's accurate. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, what a opportunity, or I can't think of the right word. That's really great that you got to see him. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
You were also kind of one of the in crowd as the child of person creating that writing conference thing too.
Well, my younger brother and sister were more intimately involved than I was. We're really a generation apart, and so Dad had this bungalow when the conference was held at the Miramar Hotel. There were all of these bungalows, so Dad would just have one of those for the duration of the conference, and my younger brother and sister would be there.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Neat.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I know that Santa Barbara is seen as kind of wealthy and privileged and all those kind of things, and I think people living here know that it really has diversity. It is very different opportunities and experiences going on in Santa Barbara. For instance, we know that there are children going to sleep hungry in Santa Barbara, and I know there's a lot of volunteer work, of philanthropy, of giving money. Is there anything that you see in Santa Barbara that's missing, that's really needed here? That, say, if there were a group of people that really need to focus on, strengthening something in Santa Barbara, is there something that you would think of?
Absolutely. Housing is a critical issue here. It
Yeah.
is, I know so many people who live in Ventura or Santa Maria, Lompoc, and they're constantly commuting to work here, but they can't live here.
Yeah.
And that is,
It's a crisis.
it's an absolute crisis, yes.
And I think there's a lot of people, that were born here that can't even really stay here. And that's really, really sad. I suppose it's so desirable and everyone's willing to pay money, but I know, affordable housing, I think, is a real thing to be focused on. Yeah. Let's see. If you could have any occupation here, what would it be?
Well, I don't know if I could name a specific job, but the ideal job for me would have to enable me, have to pay me.
That would be good, yeah. In Santa Barbara, you need
a livable
to get
salary,
paid.
that's the first criteria. And then it would need to be in the arts, so I could teach theater, dance, so I could make theater, so I could do outreach to various communities with my theater work.
You teach at City College Theater right now. Wow. That's quite the job right there. That's really wonderful.
Well, I've been there since 1988, so that's a long time.
Yeah. Let's see. There's all kinds of spiritual resources in Santa Barbara. There's theater resources, intellectual. Are there any other aspects of your life that you feel are nourished in this town?
Well, the creative aspects have always been nourished here, and I've always found outlets for that. I think there's so many things that nourish my spirit here. It's so interesting that there's an engagement, a relationship with the natural world here that I've never found anywhere else. And so you go down the street and there are guys riding bicycles without shirts on, people constantly hiking, going to nature, going into nature, going on hikes, going to the beach. There are people whose spirituality is centered around nature. So I think that is an absolute Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's really,
yeah. And I think some of that might be rooted in the earlier Chumash cultures.
it's such a beautiful setting.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, I know we're getting toward the end of this, but I have to ask you, you don't have to answer, if you were on a bench on Shoreline Park, is there any particular person that you might want to have sitting with you and discussing things?
Yes, it would have to be Dr. Stephen Eisenstadt, the founder of Pacifica Graduate
Wow.
Institute.
Uh-huh.
I've encountered him on various occasions.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone to workshops that he's conducted.
Mm-hmm.
And the highlight for me was I was observing him work with a group of teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
There's an organization called Academy of Healing Arts,
Mm-hmm.
AHA, and they work with at-risk teens.
Uh-huh.
And so Dr. Eisenstadt was invited to come work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And he works very precisely, and he can be talking about something really mundane. And if you stop to scratch your face or look at the bug crawling across the floor, you've missed an important transition where he connects something seemingly mundane with these archetypal images or core aspects of mythology.
Yeah.
And so his worldview, connecting the ordinary with the profound, is just remarkable.
Yeah. He is amazing. It's almost like Joseph Campbell, and really that overarching view of things. And there are a lot of people that really are in awe of him. He seems like such a kind, engaging person, and yet so spiritual, intellectual at the same time. It's a real combination.
He's a very unique man.
Yeah.
With a very singular gift for helping people.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Michael, I'm just so thrilled to spend this time with you, and I really appreciate it. And I certainly think that Santa Barbara is very lucky to have Michael Downey here, and I want to thank. Okay, so that's It Takes a Village. Thank you. Hi, I'm Bonnie from It Takes a Village. We're here on Ortega and Santa Barbara Street. What have we discovered? It's a Steve Nipper company. Let's go in and check it out. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hi, Bonnie. I'm great. Thanks for stopping in today.
All right. What's going on around here?
Well, we're here at Soul Wave, where we make people's water better.
All right. And I'll say that you have a pretty good reputation in this town. How did you earn that?
Well, with 23 years of service to the community and doing a good job and standing behind what we do, that's what we've earned.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. And I just want to thank you, Bonnie, for helping us support It Takes a Village. We couldn't be happier.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care. And so we learned more about Santa Barbara. We have a company that helps the economy of people because of their prices, and they help your good health with good water. Very, very important. Thank you, Steve Nipper at Soul Wave.
Hi, I'm Chris Jensen from Jen's Guitar and Music Company, and I'm proud to sponsor It Takes a Village. And just so you know where we are, here's my card.
It started out one Saturday night at the Condor. You told me you didn't love me anymore. We started picking up the pace, then much to our disgrace, the bartender said, "We all kindly leave." Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. God that I'm over you. We went on over to your mom's trailer condo. Pretty soon a coffee table flew. Well, the neighbors, they called the cops. They made it stop. And then your dog bit on my shoe. Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. And I'm thanking God that I'm over you. Yes, I'm over you. Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. The moral of the story is there is no moral. I'll leave that to those folks on Fox News. Another man might have been angry. Another man might have been blue. Me, I just went out and bought some shoes. Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. Ha, ha, yeah, yes, I'm over you. I do. And I'm thanking God that I'm over you. Gone are the days, running and playing with Jimmy and Tom. Yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay, gone are the days, living and being with Daddy and Mom. They have the old records of Hoppy and Gene. They've got that country feeling. You know what I mean? Every time I